Hello, y'all. So I'm here to give y'all my thoughts on now being an official Amazon customer service flex agent. Even though y'all seem like y'all been getting the videos pretty consistently back to back, it's been a minute since I've done a video. It's been a couple weeks. So at this point, I have now been doing this since November 21st, and it's December the 1st now. Oh, December the 2nd. So it's been 10, 11. It's like 11-ish days that I've been doing this over a course of 3 weeks. So because y'all know our fourth week in training, we was basically doing nothing but live contacts at a slow pace for a brief period of time. And then I got out of training on Friday only to go to work full time, on my schedule, on Sunday. So with that being said, I went and did my first day. It was interesting because Sunday we did not have the managers and stuff in our rooms like that, in our virtual rooms for assistance. So I was like, okay, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Oh. So surprisingly, it went well. I think I made it. Wasn't too much hiccups, but then as the days went on, stuff started to happen. I started to realize real quick that it's going to be certain stuff as a flex agent that just comes with the territory, that is unspoken, that you just naturally got to figure out on your own how to navigate. Like there's going to be stuff that you're not going to be able to pull up in the articles at all, because we have articles and stuff that we search for the problem to help out with certain solutions. And then as time goes on, as you become more familiar, your time starts to go down. Like the average company time for a call contact is 9 minutes. Coming out of training, I'm close to 20 minutes. But now I'm getting closer to sometimes where I'm underneath the darn on time. Even when I have long phone calls, it averages out. I might have a phone call that's 40 some minutes long, and then I turn around because now I started retaining so much knowledge that I can wrap up a contact within 3 to 4 minutes. I can be wrapping up while I'm actually on the phone. That way, whenever I get to hang up with the customer, I don't even go over my minute allotment time. So I'm starting to do this all very quickly. Like I said, this is 11 days, and I'm starting to pick up on it, quite fast. So that's one good thing. The only thing that irritates me though is, unfortunately, management is really not helpful at all when it comes to actually answering questions that do not, because they'll just point you towards the articles. And it's like, okay, I can understand it the first few days. You want us to learn how to pull up stuff for ourselves. You don't want to give us the answers like our instructors did or whatnot. But whenever I'm braced with a unique situation and I'm telling you, this is what I've done. I darn on looked up this, that, and the third. It's not giving me the option for this. What do I do? In situations like that, I don't get no response, and that be irritating. Another thing that irritated the hell out of me was the darn on transfers. Whenever we got to transfer to a specialized department, they don't have the numbers listed when the customers ask, well, can you just give me the number? And I want to be so bad to just say, oh, here it is. But unfortunately, we do not see the numbers. It just comes up as outbound, and we just type on the name, and it automatically begins the transfer process. So that's another thing I want them to come out with. I want them to come out with a list of phone numbers. So whenever a customer just wants to get to that department directly, we can just direct them to that number. That'll make life so much easier. That'll take 20 minutes off phone calls. Because I've spent 20-30 minutes at a time on phone calls just trying to transfer somebody over. And it's like, why should it take 20 minutes for me to transfer somebody over? I'm reaching out asking for the darn because it's not pulling up. Because this the games that darn Amazon play. Amazon darn on likes to hide numbers all in different subcategories and stuff, which we're not taught in training. In training, when we do the simulations, they be like, oh, you just do the outbound call to escalate. They don't tell us about all the other departments that we need to know about. We didn't learn in detail. I didn't learn in detail about, logistics. And, oh yeah, if you get with Amazon, honey, best believe you need to learn about logistics, because a lot of people complain about, well, the mailman or FedEx or UPS or the Amazon truck. Oh, Lord, don't let it be the Amazon truck, honey, because then they're going to really think it's our fault. Honey, they ran over my freshly manicured lawn, or they done hit my mailbox, this, that, and the third. They done scraped my fence up. I want to sue. Honey, I'm just general retail customer support. This ain't my darn on avenue. Who do I darn on reach out for this? That's logistics. Whenever a customer is dealing with property damage, whenever a customer thinks that the mailman they sales might be stealing from them and all this, that, and the third, we need to reach out to logistics. And then here's another thing that pisses me off. Numbers get taken out of the system like that, but there don't be no email saying, hey, this number is no longer available. You got to now fill out an email, and then somebody's going to call the customer back. See, now when the customer is pissed off, the last thing they want to hear after they had to take over an hour just to get to me is, oh, it took you an hour to get to me, but I got to darn gonna send out a letter for somebody to call you back. Well, why can't you just give me the number? And y'all know Diva Juan, I'm honest. I just tell them, unfortunately, they screwed me over too. I don't say it like that, but I be like, well, they didn't give me the number, unfortunately. I darn gonna went above. I done asked around. I can't get no answer. Can't get an answer. Searching high, searching low, can't get an answer. Hey, honey, that's another thing. Can't get an answer half the time to certain questions like this. Now, other stuff, I'm not saying that you can't get nothing to anything. Stuff like how to switch to refunds, that's another common stuff that we get. My refund accidentally went to my Amazon balance, but I wanted this $400 refund to come back to my original payment method. Okay. What else do I deal with as a customer service flex agent? This is the second time that a replacement has came out and it has not come out in a timely manner. I want to get another replacement. Okay. How do I return the other item if it comes? Okay, let me get you a return mailing label. What happens if the original item comes first? Okay, vice versa. Just put the mailing label on that one. What happens if I darn going to ship something? What happens if I get a defect on the same item twice? Oh, this is where the complexity comes in. You now got to pull the end-on cord, which is a particular technique, which is basically recalling the item, pulling the item off the shelf, and opening up an investigation. Now, when a customer wants something right now, the last thing they want to know is about that, oh, this is taking time for you to pull a personal issue for the sake of other customers. Customers are typically thinking about themselves at that moment. They don't care about you pulling the end-on cord. Honey, they want you to deal with their situation right now. So you darn gonna briefly put them on hold as you go through the steps of pulling the end-on cord to darn going recall that particular item, because the same defect done happen more than darn going 2 times with the customer. And then now you got to issue a concession. Now, what happens when the concession goes above your limits? You got to reach out to a specialized department on the chat line. So now you darn going calming down the customer, and you ensuring that you're doing your due diligence, while simultaneously you listening to them. They got a little fluff to add to the story, this, that, and the third. You let them darn going rant, and you darn gonna give them some soothing, calming words as you're simultaneously chatting with the specialized agent. Honey, Diva Juan got this down pat, baby. But honey, just when Diva Juan gets something down pat, honey, they throw a curveball at the ass. Oh, customer order darn on iPhone from China. Wants a refund. Normally, we'll offer, we don't do we don't charge for refunds and stuff. Every now and again, we might do a restocking fee, but if it's an Amazon fulfilled product, 9 times out of 10, you do not suffer a restocking fee, even if you do not like the item simply because the style didn't fit. Oh, you didn't like this color. You accidentally ordered the wrong color of that, this, that, and the third. You no longer have a need for it. It did not arrive in time for Timothy's birthday party or Mary's birthday party, or as a birthday gift. It supposed to arrive on the birthday past 2 weeks ago. You sending it on back. Now, what happens when the item comes from a different country? We got to deal with custom fees. And that's not a nice thing for the customer to hear, because in addition to you wanting your money back, now I got to tell you that, ooh, this is going to cost upwards of $60 to turn this iPhone back. But wait. After 30 minutes of going back and forth over why this has to occur, number one, I wasn't allowed to even issue the refund at all. Reach out to the specialist. Me and the specialist is on the darn going. I'm typing in the chat to the specialist, having him held up for 40 minutes, and I'm held up for like an hour at this point with this darn on customer who is adamant about not leaving home, not because he suffers from any sort of debilitating illness, because we can make accommodations for certain situations like that. Because I've actually talked with previous customers who are elderly, who are disabled, who we got to make special accommodations for UPS to pick up items. We can do that as well. Whenever you got to do a return and you're suffering from some sort of debilitating circumstance that prevents you from getting to the post office, guess what? Amazon is able to darn going have the folks come to you. You pack it up in a box. We even provide the mailing label, and we can get your product sent back out, and we can start the issue of your refund. Refund the credit cards take 3 to 5 business days. If it's a debit card, and this is another thing that you got to tell your customers, we are so keen on saying credit card that we don't distinguish the difference between a credit card and a debit card. So let me inform you. If you use a debit card and it's been 5 days, guess what? I'm going to tell you have to wait 5 more days, because a debit card can take up to 10 business days to process. Unfortunately, that is not properly articulated throughout Amazon. So when you get on the phone with me and you're right, well, why did the other person tell you this? And I have to inform you, well, sadly, the other person did not look at the fine print and tell you that a debit card, different from a credit card, it can take a little bit while longer. And you're currently on day 6. So feel free to give us a call back in 4 more days. Of course, you say it professional. Say it in a calm and soothing manner. Don't be too condescending or whatnot. So like I'm doing in this video. You want to, once again, it's sure to cause, and if this causes such an inconvenience, and if it's really on our fault, you can issue a promos of sorts to the customer account. Give them $5 here or $10 there. Don't do too much, or otherwise you'll be flagged in the system as being an abuser of, giving out too many concessions. You don't want that, especially being brand new up in the dough, honey. So be sparing, but not too giving with your darn on promotions. Now back to the darn on guy who just wanted to be a dick, did not want to get out the house for whatever reason. Even though you can just mask up, go ahead and mask it on up, honey. Just get your darn on mask on. Keep your 6 feet. Darn on return the darn on item at the post office. We finally got to the point where we could get the people to them, but he still had to pay the custom fee. He finally asked for a supervisor. Thank goodness. Because guess what? I know y'all gonna say, well, damn, Diva, an hour in, why didn't you then transfer him to a supervisor? We are not allowed to transfer to darn going escalations, aka supervisor, team lead, management, without the explicit consent, the specific explicit consent of the customer. And guess what? They do ask, did you get transferred because you asked, or did the agent advise you? If they say, oh, well, they said that we advise you, oh, honey, they want to come down on us. But if the customer is mad and say, I asked to be, then we're in the clear. So, of course, now there's been some times where I've actually had to transfer. Now, of course, there's times where I sort of, low-key, there's ways around, escalating to supervisor without it falling back on you in a negative way. You can throw the hint out there as long as you don't specifically say, hey, I got to transfer you to the supervisor for this, that, and the third. You can't make the initiation. You got to throw the hints out there in such a way where the customer says, oh, well, if you can't do nothing, well, let me speak to a supervisor. You got to phrase it like that, and that will save you so much heartache. What has some of us agents on the phone for so long is the fact that y'all don't be darn gone just forthcoming. Y'all be going back and forth, and at certain points, when your hands are tied and you know you done did all that you can do, you done researched the articles, you done reached out to darn gone the specialized chat department to offer a concession, and they're not able to do nothing. You're not able to get no help from the management or anybody in your darn gone dedicated chat your room. Throw the hints out there for the customer to throw out the word management. Soon as they say it out their mouths, then you can transfer to them. And when they darn gonna get asked by management, did you ask for a manager? They will honestly say yes. Even though you threw out the innuendo for them to darn gonna phrase the question, but you did it in such a way where you did not initiate the conversation. See, once again, there's more than one way to skin a cat, baby. So Diva Wand has been finding all the little tricks and trades of darn gone working with darn gone Amazon. I finally got my first official production paycheck. It was $100 more than what a girl's used to. Oh, nearly $500, boo-boo. Ow! Honey, darn gone, that check was nice. So it comes with its ups and downs, honey. It comes with its stress. You will have some customers call you, cuss you out. You will have some customers even darn gonna be racist towards you. Honey, Diva Wand has experienced it all in just 11 to 12 days. I've had a customer darn gonna call me a nigga. Oh, they done transfer me to another nigga, bitch. I'm telling you, you can't make this shit up. You can't make this shit up. I literally had a customer on the phone who got transferred from an Asian person and darn gone got to me and darn gone said in the background, I don't know, you can't help me. They don't, and then spoke to somebody in the background. They don't refer me to another nigga, bitch. I don't want to speak to this nigga. I said, oh Lord. Oh my Lord Jesus. It wouldn't have paid for me. See, they better be glad that our mantra is Amazon is darn going our most customer centric based company. If we didn't have to live by that mantra, and darn on Amazon, let me get to the what can cause you to be fired. It's hard. They will be very forgiving for a lot of things for new agents. You can slack on your metrics. This is the metrics. Woo! This is the metrics. Hey, honey, you can be darn on down on your matrix. You can be down on your darn on your positive response rates, your, each time you solve an issue for a customer and they get sent a survey, if they fill out the survey, those surveys, those positive and negative responses, those fits how, you are viewed in the company. You get coaching lessons and stuff if you're doing a consistent pattern of negative items. Fortunately, all the people who have commented on mine have nothing but positive things to say about your girl. Even though I've had quite a few people cuss me out, call me the N-words and sirs and everything else, honey, being condescending. We get to that in a moment. But, honey, fortunately, none of them darn gonna fill out the survey, honey. Child, thank goodness. The only negative ones was the ones them talking about the transfers from the Asian person, darn gonna saying they couldn't understand the Asian person, but they darn gonna got with this Southern Belle, honey. They said, well, she was a little country, but we can definitely understand her, honey. And she darn gonna laid out things so nice and sweet. So those were the compliments that I was getting. The above and beyond compliments and that, this, that, and third. So you do get to see your compliments and stuff that you get from your customers. And that plays a part in how you are viewed as well. The times that it take you to wrap up calls, like I said, it was taking me upwards of 20 minutes on average, and the company average is 9 minutes. But, honey, I was doing good some days, honey. Honey, my average was slightly below the darn on company. I was getting phone calls that was only 2-3 minutes long, baby. And that was darn on averaging out them phone calls that were like 20, 30, 40 minutes long. So yeah, y'all, that has been my experience from the racism to the cussing out. What else? Even when I say it's ma'am, my voice is low. Honey, darn gone off. And it was like, why the police officer? I said, this ain't darn going. You supposed to be non-biased towards me. Why are you darn going trying to clock a girl's teeth through the motherfucking phone, bitch? I done darn gonna say it, ma'am, 2-3 times. And then if you darn gonna got to me by way of the chat line onto the phone, it shows my pronoun. Why are you trying to be motherfucking condescending on through this motherfucking phone? And then it's like, don't let it get to the point where it's at my discretion to issue the promotion. Because see, the thing is this: when certain things happen as an inconvenience, such as a product might arrive late and stuff like that, and you want a little extra compensation on top of that, those concessions are at my discretion. I have the full control of whether I want to darn gonna give you an extra $5 or $10 on your account or not. So when you want to get all nasty with me, oh, guess what? I kindly say, oh, unfortunately, there's no concessions that I will be able to do on this account today. Is there anything that I can do to assist you with? Okay, well, thank you so much for calling Amazon. You enjoy the rest of your day. Goodbye. Honey, I kindly darn gonna wrap it up. And while I'm wrapping it on up on the phone, honey, I'm darn gonna closing it on out simultaneously. So you will get some of the customers that will try you, especially, being brown skin girl, your skin shine like pearl. Honey, you can't be combative, because like I said, what would cause you to get out the door off the bat is if you darn gonna cuss the customer out. And that includes if you're on mute. Because you being on mute don't necessarily mean that you're on mute. If you just mute the customer as you transfer them and you darn going to call them a trifling, oh, trifling land, you're a trifling bitch indeed. Honey, don't cuss the customer out. Because they will darn gonna get on your ass. Now, if you cuss the customer out on mute, that will not automatically get you out the door. But that will get you a serious talking to. Now, if you're on double mute, honey, darn gonna cuss on. That means you were smart enough to cut your mic, your headset off, and put the customer on mute. Because even though the customer don't hear you, all our calls are recorded for quality and monitor insurance. So there is somebody that can listen back on the call. And guess what? Our managers can also pull our calls sporadically and listen in on the entire conversation of the calls. So, and that includes when you're searching through the articles and you got the customer on hold, they can still hear you talking. Or also, if you got your TV on in the background, they can, even if you're here, if your phone is on vibrate, so put your phone on silent. Look at your TV during your lunch break. Or whatnot. If you have the TV on while you working, honey, put it on mute while you talking to the customer. And every now and again, when you have a long issue that you know is going to take some time, then you can take it off mute and put yourself on double mute, and then you can hear the stories, your soap operas and shit, for people who got to catch their stories and stuff in real time. But honey, don't do it while the customer's on the phone. They can hear it in the background, honey. That darn, even if you got so-called noise canceling darn on headphones, somehow, some way, they darn gonna pick up on them stuff in the background. You can have the darn on TV at a decent level, honey. Somehow they can darn gonna pick up on the slightest noise in the background. I even had a customer pick up on my fan in the background, thought I was running water. I was like, oh Lord, let me darn gonna turn the fan down. Now, fortunately, you ain't gonna get in trouble for the fan. You will only get in trouble for technology. No paper whatsoever at your desk at all. Can't have no paper. That is a security hazard. That's one thing that will get you out the door. If you get on the camera and they see paper at your desk, you're gone. If you share information in the chat room about a customer's address, credit card number, you gone. If you cuss a customer out, you're gone. Those are the main things that would get you out the door on the first ring. Everything else they would give you warnings about. Now, how do you have somebody assist you with finding a credit card charge if you cannot darn go and tell the credit card number? That's why we got something called charge IDs. Every time you put a credit card on file with Amazon, it masses it with a charge ID, and we can search and share that information with our managers without them having your personal information. So we can look at every single transaction that you've had on Amazon while simultaneously not being able to see your card number, because each card is assigned a unique code number that is used for Amazon's researching purposes only, for us to darn gonna locate, verify certain charges. So that's how you can get your management to assist you with trying to locate a charge on a credit card without actually having to give them any of the credit card information. So yeah, no sharing of email addresses either, because we can see that. We can see a customer's whole life history basically. We got so much info at a customer's information that hell, now we the only thing that separates us from the bank is the fact that we don't got your social security number. But when you have an account with from Amazon all the way back from 1990s, early 2000s, we see every updated address change. We see every card that you have on file. We see every single purchase history 20 years deep. We see when you darn gone shipped it to another address. We have so much information at our hands, and it comes with a level of, we got to be very secure with this. That's why we have to authenticate every account that comes through that has not already been pre-authenticated. That's why whenever you finally get through to us on the chat line or on the phone, that's why we always ask you for the email address, your phone number, email address and or phone number, your address, and your zip code. Those are the steps that we use to verify you. Now, let's say, well, what if I have a family member that lives with me and they verified my account and then they did something trifling like darn gonna shut off my darn going Prime or try to close my account out? Well, guess what? We got a little bit of security measures around that as well. Now, anybody can authenticate your account and do some stuff on your behalf. However, when it comes to something such as closing your account out, guess what? We, by default, has to still send a verification email to your email address. So, hence why, let's say if somebody hacks your account, short of them having your email address, we still have to send out a fact that, let's say they change the email address and all the new purchases that they're making are now going to the new email address. Guess what? You will still get a confirmation that your email address have been changed. If this has been done in error or was not you, go ahead and click the dispute. And then that will start the dispute process with all those orders that just happened that just got sent to that hacker's account email. We got a whole account change department for people who have gone through those situations. Also for people who, let's say, have an outdated email address and they no longer can verify their account anymore. You've done too many password resets and you don't have access to your phone anymore, and your phone was the one that you used in place of your email. In situations like that, we get you over to the account change department and ask some verification questions and get you back into Amazon. So yeah, y'all, basically that is all that Diva Wine does, honey. Diva Wine has a lot of responsibility to do. Diva Wine is responsible for getting you to the right departments when you have to file a complaints against your drivers, getting back into your accounts, password assistance. That's directly me. I help you out with that. Unless you are locked out, then I get you over to account change. I help you out with your lost packages. I help you out with nearly 90% of your concessions. This is my concessions. Hey, and guess what? All the promos are at my discretion. So be kind to me, and I'll be kind with you back. There has been some times where Diva Wine, through the policies, I've been very generous. Matter of fact, one of my most generous things that I was able to do was I was able to issue a $500 refund for an item that came late for a child's birthday by 2 weeks. This person ordered like 10 darn one Nerf, you know, the old school Nerf football things or whatnot. No, it was the Lifesavers. I'm thinking about another customer. They ordered some Lifesavers, $500 some. They came late. He wanted to return them. Guess what? It was a certain item. I forgot what it called, but when you order stuff with, it was a pre-order. In certain cases, pre-orders cannot be returned. I mean, you cannot return the products. They just automatically tell you to keep the product. Now, don't go abusing that. Don't go there going ordering stuff a year in advance and then filing the claim. We do keep records for repeat offenders, but one-off situations, what we can do is tell the person to keep the product and you can still get a refund. So in this rare case, because like I said, it don't happen often, especially for a high dollar item. The person was able to keep $500, get $500 back, and keep $500 worth of product. That shit does not happen like that too often. Especially international orders. Because I told y'all at the very beginning of this video, we actually had to have the customer return that phone that he simply did not like. And he had to pay the $60 custom fee up front. He was darn gone arguing us down for 40 some minutes. We finally got him transferred over to a darn gone supervisor. And the reason why I'm talking about we is because I actually had a specialist helping me out. And honey, he was darn gone arguing with the specialist as well by way of me. I'm the one on the phone with him, the specialist I'm darn gone typing with. And honey, I had to get to the point where I had to let the specialist go, transfer him over to a supervisor. So we have our pros and our cons. But overall, is it worth it? I'll let you decide. You work from the comfort of your home. You have somewhat of a flexible schedule. You know, if you get there early enough, you know. Now, when you first are in training, you get screwed because, you know, they told us about the schedule too late. And then we end up having to, and this is the lie. They tell you that technically, oh, you still have open availability. You're not subject to the restrictions of the available slots like people in production. You still supposed to pick the hours that you want. That's a damn lie. Because by the time we went across that again, honey, some of us snuck and did our darn on shift bids off the clock on because they wanted us to wait until our work day. That's another downside. Why in the fuck do you want us to wait till our official work day just simply because we get paid to darn gonna do our shift bids? I don't think nobody is tripping off of losing, let's say, $1.25. We get paid $15 an hour. It takes us maybe a maximum of 10 minutes to do our shift bid. I think most of us would give up $1.50 of paid time if we can really get the schedule that's convenient for us, versus having to wait maybe 1 or 2 days for our shift to start, and then we get the shitty schedule. Was the $1.50 really worth it when now you got to work all these darn odd hours that doesn't really officially line up with you? Now, the good thing about being a flex agent, though, is the shifts range from 1 to 3 week bids, which means you can darn go and redo your bid as soon as next week or within 3 weeks. It's not like full time where if you get this darn going schedule, honey, you locked in. Honey, my trainer said they had one schedule that lasts 7 months, another schedule that has been consistent for 2 years. With us, honey, we bid on our schedules every 3 weeks. And for somebody like me who, you know, does a plethora of things outside of Amazon, I'm a DoorDasher, I'm a Uber girl, I'm a Grubhubber, I'm a Lyft driver, I am a medical darn esthetician. Honey, I need some flexibility. Or for some of y'all that might have other side jobs. Now, I don't recommend you having a side job, a work from home that has consistent hours, because sometimes, you know, if you get caught up with having a shitty schedule, yeah, you are obligated, and they don't advise you to have a second job. Now, I can get away with it because I can adjust all my jobs around Amazon. But, yeah. If you have a second work from home job, let it be a job where it also has flexible hours where you get to choose from And that's basically it in a nutshell. I think I done touched on about everything that I can really touch on from now without, going too much into it. So, yeah, y'all done learned about the concessions that Diva Wine does, some of the transfers. Oh, they took the logistics darn line from us and did not give us an email. So, yeah, be prepared for that as well. Where one moment you might have an option to call up the line and transfer, and then you got to get on the phone with the customer and be like, oh, unfortunately I cannot find the transfer line, there's an error going on in the system. And then simultaneously you chatting talking about, where the hell did the logistics department go? Oh, they took the logistics option from us, we no longer are able to call them. You got to send out a darn on email, and they'll get back to you they'll get back to the customer within 24 to 48 hours. See, they don't email us this, so now we look like Boo Boo the Fool when I just told the customer, oh, let me go ahead and just transfer you, because just yesterday I was able to transfer no problem. Now all of a sudden within a day, without no notification, without any notification, all of a sudden the transfer has been darn gone taken away from me. So be prepared for those types of situations as well. And just darn on, kindly explain to the customer, oh, well, we just having some technical issues over here, unfortunately, and my manager's out. I can't darn gonna reach out to nobody at this time. I do apologize for this inconvenience that this have caused you, but I'm not able to get you over to this particular department at this time. But I will make notations to your account, so whenever you do call back to inquire about getting to this department, they will already know in advance. That way it saves time from explaining, and they can immediately get you back over to this department. Is there anything else that I can do to help you today? Well, no. Well, thank you so much for calling Amazon. Thank you for being an Amazon Prime customer, if applicable, if they have the Prime sign on their darn on account. And you enjoy the rest of your day. Goodbye. It starts to become routine, and then of course, as you build rapport for your customer, build a friend, not a friendship, but be friendly and cordial to your customer. You tailor your responses so you don't come off as, robotic. You don't want to come off as scripted. So also in conjunction with that, make sure you're tailoring your responses back to your customer. As you darn going searching, don't always have them on hold. Especially, the hold times are used to measure yourself as well. So sometimes I have my customer off a hold, and and I'm not even extroverted. So don't think because of this video, don't get no misconception and be like, well, bitch, you extroverted, you can do this. No, honey. I'm very introverted to the point where I suffer from a condition called agoraphobia. Hence why I do a lot of work from home jobs, because I cannot deal with large crowds and people in embarrassing situations. So I have perfected the art of providing stellar customer service without having to visually be seen by people, massive groups of people. Hence why I did not last at my last job. Papa John's. If you follow me on my Diva Wine channel, I was a Papa John's girl for 1 month. Honey, this job opportunity opened up and I quickly jumped on it. Jumped on it. Hey, honey, I'm darn gonna stressing myself out, darn gonna dealing with hostile work environment and shit for darn going just getting up $15 an hour, and I can make $15 an hour sitting on my darn on behind in the comforts of my bedroom. I get to somewhat choose my hours, and the worst thing I have to deal with is virtually being cussed out from a customer who may not ever see me in life. Honey, you call me all the niggas you want to, honey, because I'm making $15 an hour while still solving or maybe not being able to solve your problem. And then, honey, it be a slow day at times, too, where it's 10 minutes between phone calls. Child, I can get my darn on extra training in, because sometimes you will get trainings and stuff that you have to do in between phone calls, because sometimes our managers want to be lazy and not darn gonna schedule in some actual training time. They actually supposed to schedule in training time, but sometimes they'll just darn gonna say, oh, do it between phone calls, when it's not really realistic, because it's like, how you supposed to listen to a video of a simulated phone call and distinguish the ringing sound from the video, from the ringing sound of your darn on headset phone saying you got an incoming call? It's the exact same darn on ringing sound. So it's like, it's very inefficient to really do training calls that involves videos. Hence why we really supposed to go into training. But see, the catch-22 is when you're on peak, technically you don't supposed to do no training at all from around Thanksgiving all the way to December 21st. Yeah. That comes the conundrum. So be prepared if you darn going to join Amazon Flex customer service around this time. There's going to be a lot of contradictions. You're doing training, but simultaneously you got to be opted into available. So be prepared that in the midst of looking at a video, you got to be out on the ear for the phone call. Oh, and then we have technical errors where half the time the phone calls don't even come in with the notification sound in the morning. So you got to just really look out for the darn on pop-up saying, hey, you got a phone call coming in. Because if you're busy in our special group room answering other people's questions, or if you're doing your training or whatnot, and you're not looking out for that notification, because sometimes the darn on thing don't come in. They told us we got to reach out to a specialized department to find out why we're not hearing sound. But I done heard from at least one other person saying they experiencing the exact same thing. So it's more encompass of a system issue and not something that's just specific to me. So you deal with those little issues as well. But once again, it comes with $15 an hour. More if you're in a state that pays higher than $15 an hour. A blessing for most of us that are in states that pay only $7.25 an hour. I'm in the state of North Carolina. Oh, and you can work up to 60 hours a week if you so choose. So 20 hours of overtime if the hours are lot for you. Where you can get paid $22.50 an hour. So the pay is there. So I enjoy this. This is what you call good stress. Because with jobs, you're going to have your bullshit. You're going to have some stress that comes with being a part of the job. But there's a difference between, job stress that comes with the territory and just overbearing stress that's just now granted, some of this shit is unnecessary too. Hence why we darn on fill out our feedback forms every morning when we log in and they ask us our certain questions. Honey, I'm honest. Do you get assistance properly from your manager? No. And then Lord knows, don't give me the darn on detail box. Honey, Diva Wands a Capricorn. Honey, I get the type of old nasty, long, truthful, bluntly honest darn on response, baby. Don't ask me why. Don't let me go into detail in my own words. You better just give me some closed-ended darn on circle of responses to choose from. But honey, every now and again when they darn on want to hear some feedback from us, honey, definitely fill it out. And it's darn on submitted anonymously, so you don't have to worry about no darn on retaliation from your management. Now, honey, they might darn on retaliate for me because y'all know Diva Wand, I do my videos for the sake of educating y'all, and I be the sacrificial lamb for the betterment of everybody else. Because y'all know, if they get rid of Diva Wand, honey, just like with my other jobs, Diva Wand always bounce back, honey. Diva Wand always that's why I darn gonna have multiple streams of income. That's why you always have multiple streams of income. Never have all your eggs in one basket. So once again, Diva Wand can afford to be the sacrificial lamb to put y'all on game. About Amazon. But overall, I love it. It has this bullshit with it. But overall, you do get some help there. Even if you don't know nothing. Hell, our darn trainer did not have no previous work experience in this type of field at all. He was a worker at darn Subway. So don't think, I never done this before. I know Diva Wine, you done worked at Kadoon, you done worked at Teletech, you done translations, you done dealt with ticket sale, people complaining about their traffic tickets and this, that, and the third. It's like you got all this years of customer service experience. You done went to school for business with a concentration in marketing. So of course this comes second nature to you. Don't think that, because guess what? My trainer, who darn gonna trained us for 5 weeks, he did not have none of that at all. And matter of fact, this was his very first training class. So he did not even have prior teaching experience. He does not have no teaching degree. He does not. I don't even think he even went to college. From what I heard, he's just somebody who was used to work at darn on Subway. I think he was the manager of Subway. So he went from being a manager of Subway, having no darn on work from home experience, to darn on being trainer. So once again, the opportunity is for everybody. You can easily learn it. They're going to give you a good darn on 5 weeks to learn some stuff. Some of the stuff needs some improvement on it. You're going to encounter some bumps. But overall, when you get past the training, you're going to encounter some more bumps. But when you get past them bumps and stuff, you get some exhilarating rewards. You get the benefits of $15 an hour. You get voluntary time off that you can apply for. Honey, I done applied for that several times this week, honey. I done took off early Tuesday and Wednesday, child. I've been utilizing my time off. Hell, I might darn gonna take off the weekend, a little bit on the weekend too. And guess what? When you have the voluntary time off available, that does not subtract from your darn gone paid and unpaid time off. That is them saying that we got too many workers, and if you want to go ahead and take off, we will allow you to take off. You're not going to get paid for it, but it's not going to be deducted from your hours either. Honey, what you tell me that for, honey? Bye-bye. Whenever it's stressful, honey, I'll be like, honey, let me go ahead and put in this VTO, honey. And the same thing on the flip side. Now, I haven't put in extra time yet, but when that time comes, you can also apply to put in extra time. And for every 4 hours of extra time that you put in, and it don't have to all be in the same day. Let's say you put in 4 hours of extra work time throughout the week. For every 4 hours that you put in, you get an extra hour in darn on unpaid time off added to your bank. Honey, don't get no better than that. So whenever D1 feels like I want to put in some extra hours, honey, for every 4 hours I want to put in, honey, I'm going to get an extra darn on hour of darn on unpaid vacation time. And then our shit rolls over at the darn on beginning of the year. And we started in darn on October. I became fully on the production flow in November. So within the next 4 weeks, I'm about to get some more time because I've only used about 15 minutes of darn on unpaid time. I still got 7 hours and some cents left. And then I think you get like 8 a year or something like that. So it's going to keep rolling on up. Hey. I'll tell y'all what the official number is. I don't know what it is, but they gave us 8 to start out with. So, honey, we're going to get... Now, I wish that darn on discount roll over. For y'all that don't know, you also get $100 discount towards Amazon purchases. But what it does is it perpetually deducts 10% off of your Amazon fulfilled and sold by orders that you purchase on Amazon up to $1,000. $1,000 divided by 10 obviously is $100. So you get perpetual 10% discounts on all your purchases on Amazon, but it has to be a product that is sold and fulfilled by Amazon. And it rolls up. I mean, it resets every year. So that's the only downside is if you don't use all of it, it just resets. So let's say you only use $50 worth, it resets to $100. So it's not like you would get $100 next year and now you got $150. I wish they darn gone do something about that. Go ahead and just have it darn gone, add it. It's like, honey, darn gone Jeff Bezos, baby. You worth darn gone $200 billion darn gone dollars. You can afford to darn gone have the darn gone shit roll over as opposed to reset, honey. Roll over, not reset. We need this R, not this R, baby. We don't need the reset. We need the darn on roll over. Hey, roll over. Honey, let our darn on previous darn on discounts roll over that we haven't used in the year prior. Especially some of us that's just coming in the door in November. It's like, damn, I got 2 months to utilize my $100 or the remaining going to roll over. I only utilize $5 because, hell, most of my products is not both sold and fulfilled by, so I haven't been getting the full discount, child. But that's a whole nother video for another day. But that is it, y'all. That is my first 2 weeks. Technically 3 working weeks. I started out at the very end of like 1 working week. But anyways, that's my 2 weeks experience as a full-time, well, not a full-time because my hours aren't in excess of 40, but you know what I mean, as a full production agent, no longer in training, going straight to being on the clock, taking phone calls. Also, last but not least, the setup. Don't think you got to have a special setup. You're rarely on camera. Definitely not with the customer. Every blue moon, you might have to get on the phone, on the camera with your manager or whatnot. But honey, right now, y'all know I live in a small rinky-dink apartment. Honey, I take my chair from outside. I put one of them darn on couch pillows underneath, put the blanket on the darn on chair. Honey, that's my darn on setup. So don't think you got to have this fancy darn on professional darn on business chair off the rip. Honey, just start off slow. If you got an old outside chair, honey, bring it inside. If you got a kitchen darn on chair, honey, get your darn on comfortable pillow underneath and darn on let that be that for the moment. So don't think that you got to have this professional setup, honey. Matter of fact, let me go ahead and show y'all what my shit looking like, honey. Just to show y'all. Y'all see my setup over here? I told y'all my darn on bedroom small as hell. Don't y'all judge me. That's my regular computer over there to the left. And that's my darn on other one to the right. Now, you can't multiple monitors for convenience factors, but I'm not doing that. Honey, this ain't no long-term job for me. Now, if this was something that you plan on doing for some long time, for the long haul, definitely do it. Me, as soon as darn on peak is over with, y'all know Diva Juan will get back to working on her clients, honey. I'm doing this because of the panty done got us locked down. But for y'all that want to make Amazon work from home a long job opportunity, you see the potential of possibly being converted over to a full-time agent, you can definitely go ahead and get you a second monitor, get a display port to add to your computer, and you can utilize it. I mean, you can utilize having both monitors. So yeah, that is basically that. But I wanted to show y'all my setup to show that you don't have to have a fancy dedicated office. I work out of my darn on little small bedroom. I'm in a 2-bedroom darn on 600 square feet of darn on apartment. I don't have no darn on second space dedicated to a darn on work from home. As long as you have a door that closes, that's all that matters. As long as you have a door that can close, that's all that matters. As long as you ain't got no children in your workspace, as long as nobody can see your screen, your spouse is not in your room during work hours, you got that TV on mute or preferably off, you got your phone on silent, not vibrate, because they can hear that vibration through the darn on headset, honey. So even if it's on vibrate, it better be, honey, across the room. But if you like me, you keep your darn on phone, because like I said, it could be dead time where it's like it takes 10 to 12 minutes before in between calls. Honey, you can still be surfing Facebook and YouTube and all that on the low. And, you know, long as you know, low key with it, where you keep your darn on thing on mute. If you get incoming calls, it's not causing that, you know, you don't hear no ringtone or nothing. You know, work smarter, not harder. Don't darn on set yourself up for darn on somebody calling you out and say, we heard that darn on Diva ringtone in the background. Nah, Diva is a female version of a huss. Honey, You know, they probably was bumping to it in the background too. But honey, you know they're gonna still write your ass up, honey. Especially, even though a lot of us are in there, honey, let me go ahead and tell you about the unity, honey. About the diversity of Amazon, honey. Don't think it's just all Karen. Because, you know, we got to keep it real. With darn gonna work from home, I know y'all saying with Diva Juan keep, you know, how's it like for us? Because, you know, sometimes, you know, when it's too many of this, you feel like you can't really say certain stuff. You know, you feel like you got to censor yourself. You feel like you got to put on an old meat darn on Karen voice. Honey, we got so many darn on different managers and stuff here, and even the white folks are cool as hell. Both our darn on training managers was white as hell, white as darn on snow, honey. Pale white, and they was darn on cool as hell. So the white folks cool for the most part. We got plenty of sisters, and matter of fact, all of my darn on class was black. I mean, 85 to 90% of my class was black. All of us was women. I was the only darn woman with a little extra in between, if you catch my drift. But you know, all of us identified as female except for our male trainer. We had one darn male in our training class, but he dropped out within the first 4 days. So we are all, and out of a class of 33, and when it was all said and done, 24 of us ended up graduating. Out of 24 people, I would say 17, 18 are black women. Black women. We have a couple Hispanics up in there. You know, one or two Hispanics, 2 to 3 white girls, and somebody else that's a little something in between. That was about it. But we had like at least 5 or 6 people that was in the mixed or white category. But the mass majority of us were black, of different hues, from, you know, 5 shades darker than me, light skin, brown skin, honey. So for us, and from different areas, from the hood, from the more bougie parts, you know, from California, or you know, from Atlanta, nah. So once again, the diversity is there. You have blackness throughout all of different managements and stuff. You have Asian folks, you have white folks that are cool as hell, honey. So, and then you have trans folks, you have lesbians, you have bisexual, honey. Amazon is open to everybody. So don't feel like you can't really be yourself, honey. As a black dark skinned trans woman from the South, honey, they brought me in with no problems, honey. So with that being said, Amazon is very open and inclusive to everybody, and recognizing the pronouns. Because like I said, honey, I'm sure when they seen the drivers, they pulled up the driver's license info. They see that the name and shit, I mean the marker and stuff is still the old, but they still respect the terminology. So if you're somebody in my category, they do respect you by your proper pronouns. Even if your driver's license still have the M on there, when you put what your identity is, when you put female, they will address you as Miss. And vice versa. If you're a trans man, they will address you as Sir. Now, don't expect that same level of respect from the callers. Some of the callers are still try, but at the end of the day, child, they ain't paying your damn bills. Not directly, honey. So, child, just let the bigotry from the customers go. Because like I said, I done been called the N-word. I done been, you know, everything else on the phone. So, it is what it is. But at least my fellow co-workers and stuff, they respect you. So, yeah, y'all, that's basically everything in a nutshell. Very open, inclusive company. It has its pros, has its cons, has a lot to improve on technology-wise. Once again, I wish we could still get the actual phone receipts. We need to update our transfers. So if they ever come across this video, please give us a list so we can get people to the proper departments. Especially logistics. Especially registries, honey. We can't touch registries. So that's a whole department within itself. The video department is a department in itself. I am retail support. But I act as the liaison to transfer y'all to all the departments that y'all need to go. But honey, Amazon need to make it easier on me. But once again, ultimately, I think it's gonna they're gonna take the feedback and they're gonna correct themselves in time. If not, I'll be back on here complaining until they do, because I know these companies see me gonna do my videos. So like I said, I'll be the sacrificial lamb to get shit right for the betterment of the collective. But yeah, y'all, that is it in a nutshell. So if you have any additional questions about what it's like to be an Amazon Flex agent, leave it down below. But for now, feel free to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And I will see y'all soon with more videos.